Good evening, here are tonight's top stories. 20-year-old motorcyclist dies after accident in quarantine, Berbice. OFAC sanctions prominent Guyanese figures for corruption. Also, Guyana Defense Force bolsters fleet with new patrol vessel. Government of Guyana responds to U.S. Treasury sanctions announcement. Additionally, police force receives 2 Honda motorcycles from Sunrise Cuisine Company. Golden Jaguars triumph over Belize 3-1 in World Cup qualifier, and Vice President Barrett Jagdeo speaks on biometric system. Stay tuned for the details of these stories. Please remember to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more news.
20-year-old motorcyclist dies after accident in quarantine, Berbice. A tragic accident on Sunday has claimed the life of 20-year-old Andy Roberts of 57 Village, Quarantine, Berbice. Roberts succumbed to his injuries while receiving medical treatment at the Georgetown Public Hospital. The accident, which involved Roberts on his motorcycle and a car driven by Suraj Shudas, occurred earlier in the day. Roberts was initially picked up by public-spirited persons and rushed to the Skeldon Public Hospital. Due to the severity of his injuries, he was later transferred to the New Amsterdam Public Hospital and ultimately to the Georgetown Public Hospital, where he passed away. The incident has left the community in mourning as they remember the young man whose life was cut short. Further investigations are ongoing to determine the exact circumstances leading to the accident. Police force receives 2 Honda motorcycles from Sunrise Cuisine Company. The Guyana Police Force has bolstered its operational capabilities with the addition of 2 Honda motorcycles, generously donated by Sunrise Cuisine Company. The official handover ceremony took place at the Tactical Services Unit, TSU, Drill Square. Assistant Commissioner Mahendra Sinarine, Commander for Regional Division No. 3, expressed gratitude for the timely donation, highlighting its importance in enhancing the police force's capacity to serve the community more effectively. Penelope Persad, CEO of Sunrise Cuisine Company, attended the event and emphasized her company's commitment to supporting the Guyana Police Force. She expressed optimism for future partnerships that will further benefit the community and law enforcement efforts. The ceremony was attended by several high-ranking officials of the Guyana Police Force, including Senior Superintendent Ewart Ray, Cadet Officer Garfield Campbell, and Deputy Superintendent Ronald Alley, along with other members of the force. OFAC sanctions prominent Guyanese figures for corruption. The U.S. Department of the Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control, OFAC, has sanctioned several members of one of Guyana's wealthiest families, as well as a government official, for their involvement in public corruption. The sanctions target Nazar Mohammed, his son Azruddin Mohammed, their company Mohammed's Enterprise, and Guyanese government official May Thomas. Additionally, 2 other entities, Hadi's World and Team Mohammed's Racing Team, have been designated for their connections to Mohammed's Enterprise and Azruddin. Nazar Mohammed established Mohammed's Enterprise, which grew to become one of Guyana's largest gold exporters. The company, under the leadership of Azruddin Mohammed, has been implicated in significant tax evasion, under-declaring over 10,000 kilograms of gold exports between 2019 and 2023, thereby avoiding more than $50 million in duty taxes. Furthermore, Mohammed's Enterprise has been involved in bribing customs officials to falsify import and export documents and facilitate illicit gold shipments. May Thomas, formerly the permanent secretary to Guyana's Minister of Home Affairs and currently serving in the Ministry of Labor, used her position to provide favorable treatment to Mohammed's Enterprise in exchange for bribes and high-value gifts. Her actions included manipulating procurement processes and influencing the approval of weapons permits and passports. The sanctions, enacted under Executive Order E.O. 13818, which implements the Global Magnitsky Human Rights Accountability Act, block all property and interests in property of the designated persons within U.S. jurisdiction. The action also prohibits U.S. persons from engaging in transactions involving these individuals and entities. Brian E. Nelson, Under-Secretary of the Treasury for Terrorism and Financial Intelligence, stated, "Today's action underscores our commitment to holding accountable those who seek to exploit Guyana's underdeveloped gold sector for personal gain. Treasury, in close coordination with our partners in U.S. law enforcement, will continue to take action to safeguard the U.S. financial system from abuse by corrupt actors." This coordinated effort involved multiple U.S. agencies, including Homeland Security Investigations, the Diplomatic Security Service, Customs and Border Protection, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The sanctioned individuals and entities have their assets within the U.S. frozen, and U.S. persons are generally prohibited from dealing with them. Financial institutions and other entities that engage in transactions with the sanctioned parties may also face penalties. The ultimate goal of these sanctions is to induce positive behavioral changes among the designated individuals and entities. For more detailed information on OFAC sanctions, including procedures for seeking removal from the specially designated nationals (SDN) list, individuals can refer to OFAC's frequently asked questions and specific guidelines on their website. Government of Guyana responds to U.S. Treasury sanctions announcement. The government of Guyana has acknowledged a press release issued by the United States Department of the Treasury, which announced sanctions against 3 Guyanese nationals and related entities. These sanctions were imposed by the department's Office of Foreign Assets Control, OFAC. In response to the information presented in the press release, the Ministry of Finance, along with other relevant statutory agencies including the Guyana Revenue Authority, will be seeking further details to assist local law enforcement agencies in their investigations. The government of Guyana takes the claims made in the press release very seriously, a government spokesperson stated. We will maintain active engagement with relevant U.S. entities to address these issues thoroughly. As an immediate measure, May Thomas, the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Labor, has been placed on leave. The government of Guyana reaffirmed its commitment to working closely with the United States on all matters of mutual interest, emphasizing the importance of upholding the rule of law and order. Guyana Defense Force bolsters fleet with new patrol vessel. The Guyana Defense Forces, GDF, Coast Guard has enhanced its fleet with the addition of the GDFS Shahhoud, a 115-foot Defiant monohull patrol vessel. The vessel, built by American company Metal Shark Boats, has been named in honor of Colonel Michael Shahhoud, who tragically died in a helicopter crash last December. The GDFS Shahhoud is equipped with advanced systems designed to enhance Guyana's maritime defense capabilities. This state-of-the-art vessel will play a crucial role in safeguarding the country's territorial waters, particularly its exclusive economic zone, EEZ. The vessel's modern surveillance systems are expected to significantly boost maritime monitoring efforts, protect trade interests, and enhance overall national security. President Dr. Irfan Ali, speaking at the commissioning of the vessel, emphasized the importance of the acquisition in the broader context of national defense. This vessel is a vital asset in our efforts to protect our territorial waters and ensure the safety and security of our maritime domain, said President Ali. He underscored the necessity of robust defense capabilities to complement diplomatic efforts. While Guyana remains committed to diplomacy and peaceful conflict resolution, President Ali stressed the importance of being prepared to defend the nation's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Diplomatic endeavors must be complemented by robust and responsive defense capabilities. We maintain strong diplomatic ties and seek peaceful resolutions to conflicts, but we must also be prepared to take decisive action to protect our sovereignty and territorial integrity, he stated. President Ali highlighted Guyana's partnerships with regional and international allies in enhancing its defense capabilities. However, he affirmed that the primary responsibility for the country's defense lies with Guyana itself. The president assured that the government is well aware of the various threats facing the nation, even though specific threats were not detailed during his address. The commissioning of the GDFS Shahhoud marks a significant step in strengthening Guyana's defense infrastructure, ensuring that the country is well prepared to address any maritime security challenges that may arise. Golden Jaguars triumph over Belize 3-1 in World Cup qualifier. The Golden Jaguars, Guyana's national football team, secured a 3-1 victory against Belize in their second 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier match held in Barbados this evening. Dion Moore was the standout performer, netting 2 goals in quick succession, 67-foot, 71. Liam Gordon further solidified the team's lead with a goal in the 71st minute, marking a significant turnaround following their 0-2 loss to Panama on June 6 in Panama City. Belize's lone goal came from forward Carlos Bernardes in the 88th minute. This win marks Guyana's first triumph in the qualifiers and their second victory over Belize in 3 encounters. The Golden Jaguars previously defeated Belize 2-1 in the 2019 Nations League, League B. The first meeting between the two teams ended in a 3-1 victory for Belize in a 2002 friendly match. Looking ahead, Guyana continues their 2026 FIFA World Cup journey with upcoming matches against Nicaragua on June 6, 2025, and Montserrat on June 10.
Health system. We're building 12 new hospitals and upgrading the entire system. I don't want to belabor it. We said in the manifesto we will build infrastructure for the future that will support economic infrastructure, that will support a diversified economy so that we avoid the Dutch disease. And we're doing that. You see the infrastructure rollout across the country. Ports, power plants, cokers, highways, etc. We said we will do some conditional cash transfer, and we've started this with people for vulnerable groups. We started with the pensioners, our children, and also people with disability. And that will grow to other sectors. We outlined all of this. Imagine Nigel Hughes in 2024 saying this government doesn't have a plan as to how to utilize oil and gas resources. This is what you have to deal with. It's nonsense, and that the next 5 years will be chaos if we're not clear about it. We're clear where this country will be by 2030, now and in 2030. We're clear about every sector, what kind of education system we'll have by then, the world-class health system, the security, a whole range of other things. And here they're talking about how foreigners will reshape our country. Foreigners can't reshape the country. They will do that under APNU, where they had no planning capability, and they couldn't even stand up to a mediocre investor, much less an ExxonMobil. And we've seen this manifested in real things. Over a weekend, Trotman signed the new PSA. Guess who drafted the cabinet paper to take the draft PSA that Trotman signed to the cabinet for approval? Guess who drafted that? Not the government officials. ExxonMobil drafted the cabinet paper, not the PSA, because I suspected they drafted the PSA too. But they drafted the cabinet paper to say to the cabinet, you have to approve this PSA. ExxonMobil drafted that. And you're talking about capacity and about who will allow foreigners to reshape this country. We're clear. That is why we have launched the project, the biometrics project. The biometrics project that we have that is ongoing will give each person, every Guyanese, they would have an ID card, one for citizens and one for non-citizens, so that we know who is in our country, every foreigner who is in our country, and we can track what they do in our country. Because you wouldn't be able to open a bank account or anything else except unless you have one of those cards as a citizen or a non-citizen. So we track everyone who is in this country. And we are making it sure that our people, the people of this country, our people would have first preference in any case. That's why when Exxon threatened, and not Exxon alone, but all of the others said, if you pass the local content law, that we may go out of business. We said, well, fine, you may have to go out of business, but we passed the law, and they had to live with it, and they're doing well. But if we didn't pass that law and listen to the threats from these companies, 1,500 Guyanese companies would not be benefiting from 700 million US dollars of procurement opportunity today, because the French company would still be supplying food to the offshore people. And you would have had foreigners coming in here and building homes and apartments and renting it to the Exxon staff. Now they can't do that. If you're in the oil and gas sector, you have to rent from Guyanese. That is a prohibition. Security services, only Guyanese can supply that. Cleaning services, a whole range of other services. We carve these out exclusively for our people. You think of Nigel Hughes, because he was working for ExxonMobil. You recall the PSA? I think the PSA has his address, his office address on as their local office.